Welcome back. Welcome back. You man, Dominic K in here, of course. The Dominic K Show on fire-tv.com, on fire-tv.com. Happy hump day to everybody. Of course, the president gave the State of the Union last night. It was in the chamber of the United States House of Representatives to the 118th United States Congress. And so many takeaways from that. So many takeaways. It was a sweeping speech. He did what I expected from the standpoint of he laid out the agenda. He made the case. It was a very soft re-election speech. He's trying to test the waters to let folks know he wants to run. There were a lot of things that he laid out. I think that he glossed over some very important issues that I wanted to hear him talk about. But I think all in all, this was a good speech. He touted success. That's something that you need to do. Talked about some highlights, especially since not a lot of legislation is going to get passed with these Republicans. You know what I mean? They're going to block it. Right? So he laid out some goals. He laid out some goals for the year, calling to ban assault weapons, urging immigration reform, saying that he'd veto any attempt at a federal abortion ban. He seemed awake, seemed alert. Started off a little rocky, stumbled a little bit. That's what we expect from Joe Biden, though, right? We kind of expect that from Joe Biden. I was expecting kind of low energy speech. We could say that. This was not that. This was very entertaining. Very entertaining. Republicans made it easy for Joe Biden. He showed that he was A, the adult in the room. He showed B, that he is a politician and he knows how to handle things. He set traps. It's almost like the rope-a-dope. He baited Republicans in there yelling and screaming and saying stuff. He's having this banter back and forth with them, banter back and forth, which was really interesting to see. Really interesting to see. Not something that we see too often, right? And not during the State of the Union. Many Republicans voiced audible dissatisfaction at some of the points that he made in his speech. But that's what happened. It's time for new Republican leadership to get our nation back to the strength and prosperity we had under the Trump and Pence administration. Mike Pence said on Twitter after the speech. What are you talking about? Republican, they were so bad. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who yelled out liar during the State of the Union, called Biden weak. She looked crazy during the speech, had the fur coat on, looking like, what's the lady from the 101 Dalmatians? She looked kind of like that. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you remember, you were talking about liars. She was, the press secretary for Trump at one time, now the governor of Arkansas. She gave her remarks from Little Rock. And what's so interesting is she was talking about a new generation. It's time for the next generation to take over. Yet she is, making a claim for, Biden is 4 years older than Trump, but they're both old. But hey, Republicans have never been beyond being hypocritical, never been beyond lying. So I don't know. But we saw Biden smiling and offering a very pointed response. He kept his composure. A lot of people would have buckled under that pressure. Now, a majority of Americans will say that Biden hasn't accomplished much. Many Democrats are not thrilled with the thought of him running again. I don't want to see Joe Biden versus Donald Trump too. I don't want to see it, and I'm sure that many Americans don't want to see that as well. Biden powered through, though. He pushed through, delivering what I think is a test run for his reelection announcement. He hasn't made that official, but it seemed to me like that, if there's a reelection speech, if I've ever heard one, that's what it sounds like at the State of the Union. Biden claimed credit for progress that he made during his first 2 years in office, but he did stress that the job is not finished yet. Republicans were unruly, but he had a very spirited debate. But you got to remember, it's very hard to debate with somebody who has a microphone and you don't. They didn't have the microphone. He had the microphone. Oh, but they were feisty. They were petty. They were acting like kids. Speech started off bipartisan. Like they're going to say, oh, he's not being bipartisan. Like Trump was bipartisan. But they'll say, oh, well, he didn't run on bipartisanship. So, I mean, just shut up. No president enters the State of the Union wanting to recite a laundry list of accomplishments, proposals, but it always seems to happen. The speech always seems to go in that direction. I mean, what else is it going to do? Where else could it go? Of course, Biden was no different. He kept saying all night, probably the most said phrase all day was finish the job. He said that a whole bunch of times. Finish the job. Finish the job. We need to finish the job. But, it was interesting. I thought that Republicans are normally rude during speeches. You remember, of course, people heckling President Obama during the State of the Union. I mean, just the utter disrespect. Democrats are not disrespectful like that. But here's the thing. The folks that were behind the scenes for President Biden, they were expecting this. Things could not have been written any better for Biden. The White House, I'm sure, thrilled about the back and forth. Oh, you didn't give him commercials. You didn't give him all kind of stuff. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy sat behind Biden, powerless to control his GOP. They don't respect him at all. He was trying to shush them. Nothing. They wasn't listening to him. They were not listening to him at all. But he tried to shush his conference multiple times. But it reminds you just like of a parent, maybe a substitute teacher try to get the kids to be quiet. They don't respect the substitute teacher. That's how Kevin McCarthy came off. Now, Biden set the record for the oldest president to deliver the address to a joint session of Congress. Okay. But, he's going to hold that down because no one older has ever been president. Now, it was vintage Biden. It was vintage Biden. Made some attempts at connecting. He tried. Biden hoped that his speech was going to bridge the gap. It was a pretty long speech, about 70 minutes long. There were some things that he brought up that did surprise me. He focused on very specific issues, eliminating junk fees for consumers and reining in the tech companies and all areas that the White House believes will resonate with Americans who aren't necessarily up on the in and outs of DC. There were many attempts at those that were forgotten. Folks that voted for Trump in 2016 and maybe even 2020. Folks that, flyover country, the regular folks, not the elites, but the regular folks. There were definitely attempts made to kind of talk to those people. And, you would think that Joe Biden naturally would connect with those folks. But he's been in Washington for a long time. He's been in Washington for a long time. There's always going to be a focus on China. Many Republicans are so mad the way that Biden handled the suspected Chinese spy balloon. Shoot it down, he said. This was a big balloon, right? Don't think like some, Wizard of Oz kind of balloon. This was a big balloon with a very, just the risk of shooting it down over a residential area. But the Republicans are irresponsible. They're nincompoops. They're idiots for the most part. And they don't even consider these things. They're so clueless that the 3 occasions during the Trump administration when balloons came, they said, we don't even know about that. That's how clueless they are. We're going to listen to y'all. China was included in the text of Biden's speech well before the balloon slipped into American airspace. But make no mistake, Biden said, as we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did. That's true. We did that. Republicans say that they're looking for a new generation. That would mean that you need to leave Donald Trump in the dust. In the dust. All in all, I think that it was a good speech. Time for a new generation to lead. This is our moment. This is our opportunity. Sarah Huckabee Sanders said that. She's 40, 41, something like that. I would agree with her on that. We do need a new generation. How about this? Can we make a deal? Y'all get rid of Trump and we get rid of Biden? Can you make that deal? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Dominic K Show. Of course, ONFIRE-TV.com. I thought that it was a good speech. It made Biden look energetic. He didn't look old. It made him look like he was game. It made him look like he was up for the challenge. And winning in 2024 will be a challenge. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the show after this.
Looking for food that feeds your soul? Hoodfellas Bistro and Catering is your local African-American-owned restaurant offering American cuisine. Located across from the courthouse, we offer daily jury specials to reward civic duty. Enjoy our full-service restaurant and fully stocked bar. Dine in, pick up, delivery, and catering. Our themed happy hours feature live music, handcrafted drinks, and weekly specials. Book your private event at hoodfellowsbistrocatering.com.
Welcome back. You man, Dominic K in here. Of course, the Dominic K Show on ONFIRE-TV.com. The debate is going to continue. Who's the greatest? Last night, LeBron James broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's NBA scoring record. Oh, and it was historic. It was it was almost a 40-year record. Los Angeles star. He brought out a lot of big stars. Had his family in attendance and all of that. It was something to see. It was a fadeaway jumper, not the sky hook. I wanted to see the sky hook, but it was not the sky hook. It was not one of LeBron's power dunks, but with 10 seconds left in the third quarter, it was a loss to the Thunder. But LeBron James sent to the mountaintop this record more than 38 years old of 38,387 career points. And here's the thing. His career is not done yet. He's not finished. I mean, he may have 5 more years. So what was interesting as, you saw, if you go back to Michael Jordan, was all these, camera flashes, but this was nothing with cell phones. And the game was stopped for about, 10 minutes or so while LeBron James hugged his family, including his wife, his mom, his 3 kids. There was a brief little ceremony with Adam Silver and Kareem, who watched the game from baseline. Many folks thought it wasn't going to happen. I knew that it was going to happen. I mean, just there was too much energy. There was too much anticipation. That record stood for nearly 40 years. Many people thought it would never be broken, but LeBron James is the NBA's all-time scoring leader, and it's only going to get further. I mean, you have some folks that are maybe 10,000 points or so within, but I don't see any of them coming back. It is considering all that he's already accomplished. It's been an amazing career. But the atmosphere, it seemed like a playoff game. You're watching. I mean, it was here on the East Coast. It was late, but it felt like a playoff game. But I'm sure that it was something that LeBron will remember, and it's something else. So folks are going to still continue to debate MJ, the King LeBron James as the youngest player in the league to reach each 1,000 point milestone. I mean, it goes on and on. It goes on and on. He's a great guy on and off the field. Say what you want to say. But LeBron James has my vote. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, ONFIRE-TV.com. Take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back. You man, Diamond K in here. Of course, The Diamond K Show. On all social media, I am at The Diamond K Show. So we go from one, athlete that had the time of his life, breaking a record, and to another athlete who is not having a good week. The NFL has pulled Michael Irvin after misconduct allegations, a misconduct complaint. He's a Hall of Famer, and we are approaching Super Bowl weekend. But he's made a quick exit from NFL coverage of the Super Bowl. This allegation was recently made. And according to the Dallas Morning News, a woman complained about Irvin's behavior during an encounter that happened on Sunday evening in Arizona. Now, because of that, Michael Irvin will not be part of the Super Bowl week coverage. Of course, he's not going to be part of the Super Bowl coverage either. Of course, Irvin disputes the allegation, and it's interesting. So folks will say stuff. If you report something online, they'll say, "Oh, well, the person denied it. That means it's not true." Like, what are you talking about? All right. But anyway, we don't know what happened. He says, honestly, this is Michael Irvin. Honestly, I'm a bit baffled with it all. This all happened in a 45-second conversation in the lobby. When I got back after going out, came into the lobby, and I talked to somebody. I talked to this girl. I don't know her. And I talked to her for about 45 seconds. We shook hands, then I left. That's all I know. So if they're in the lobby of the hotel, there should be footage. Now, was he drunk? Did he say something inappropriate at that time? So Irvin added that he was out drinking, which will make it hard for him to dispute her version if the drinking potentially has impaired his memory of the interaction. He may not remember what he said to her, but he claims that it was a friendly conversation. What's up? I don't even know. I'm totally perplexed, which sounds like you don't remember. What law did I break? He said. There was definitely nothing physical. That's honestly all that happened. No one was in my room. It was a 45-second conversation, A handshake and we left. I don't know. I don't know what this is, and it's running me crazy. You know, you got to be responsible. He was supposed to appear on First Take on ESPN. This doesn't look good. Now, of course, he's going to say he didn't do anything. He's not going to say, "Oh yeah, I said something crazy. I propositioned her." I mean, who knows? This is very strange. We got to wait for the facts. But they may just wash their hands of him. They just may wash his hands of him. I don't know. Maybe they're going to give him a break for a while. I don't know. But as a professional, you've got to be careful of these interactions. Got to be. So it sounds kind of strange, but who knows? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, ONFIRE-TV.com. The only thing that could be worse for him is if the Cowboys were playing and the Cowboys ain't playing. So I guess he should be okay. I mean, they're out of it, right?
Looking for food that feeds your soul? Hoodfellas Bistro and Catering is your local African-American owned restaurant offering American cuisine. Located across from the courthouse, we offer daily jury specials to reward civic duty. Enjoy our full-service restaurant and fully stocked bar. Dine in, pick up, delivery, and catering. Our themed happy hours feature live music, handcrafted drinks, and weekly specials. Book your private event at hoodfellowsbistrocatering.com.
You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Of course, new episodes of the program drop daily. Our Patreon supporters get twice the content. So support what we do here and head on over to OnFire-TV.com/join to become a member. I will be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. The Diamond K Show, OnFire-TV.com. On all social media, I am at The Diamond K Show. Of course, DJDiamondK@gmail.com. And on all streaming services, make sure you check out Club Music Unleashed 3 by yours truly, Diamond K. That is available everywhere. See you guys tomorrow.